What is going on? My name is Clyde, and I have pressing issues where I come to you from my dry cleaners and talk to you about comics and all the other things I enjoy. So, thanks. This is a continuation of my series of my personal top 50 comic books in my collection. I want to thank Matt Woods for being the inspiration for this format where it breaks it down into bite-sized portions of. Right now, this is the third section of 30 through 21. So these are my personal books favorites for whatever reason. I like the cover, maybe some sentimental reason behind it. There might have some value. That might be the value of the comic. Again, there's just a lot of different reasons why these might reach my top 50. I'm going to fudge the numbers a little bit, so it might be a little bit more than 50, but we won't tell. So let me get started here. This is this is the third section, so this is 30 through 21. So let's get started with the first book, or four. This is Kingdom Come. Trying to get the glare off of there. This is an awesome series. It's a short set of books. It's a prestige format books that were by Mark Waid and Alex Ross. Alex Ross did the art. This is well before his recent covers and all his cover work that he does for Immortal Hulk. But this is the cover art, and this is just absolutely fantastic. I'm not the hugest DC fan, but the work on this stuff just cannot be denied. I mean, this covers art front and back, and just fantastic books. Great story by Mark Waid, and just not just the covers. Alex Ross does all the interior artwork on this, so it's a great story. I would highly suggest picking it up, and you can buy the trade for probably $10, $15, I'm assuming. So it's a great story, and it's a good pickup. So that is 60. So moving on to, wait, how did this get in there? Well, this is a joke pick, but this is Super Pro. I like Spider-Man. I like football. So what could go wrong? I like comics. Mash them all up, and you have a travesty of the 90s. So this is Super Pro. This is not a part of my official list, but I decided to throw it in there because I'm silly. And this is a slab of mine. This is the first 9/8 that I've ever had. This is Lock and Key #1. This is a book by Joe Hill, who's the son of Stephen King. It's a 9.8. It was a TV show that was on Netflix about 2 years ago, a year and a half. Good story. It was a horror suspense type story. It's a lot of fun. That one is 28. Moving on to 27. We have New Mutants, 87. This is the first appearance of Cable. This is a 9.2 slab that has its cover art is by Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld. And Rob likes to hide his feet, so because he didn't really learn how to draw those very well. So a lot of times you'll find people in weird poses. So this one is an easy way to cover that up. So moving on to the next book where you do get to see some feet. This is New Mutants 98, the first appearance of Deadpool. This is, again, the 9.6. Fortunately, I was cleaning my comics during the early parts of quarantine. I came across several copies of this, and I assumed that some were mine and my brother, so we ended up splitting 4 copies, and I have one, he has one, and I think we sold the other 2. So cool book to have, and it's a nice book. Let's see, moving on to, now this one is not that, you may not recognize it. It's not a key or anything at all. This is Captain America 319. Actually, I have 319 and 320. But the reason I got this is because I used to read the Marvel Universe, which told the histories of all the characters in the Marvel Universe. And I noticed that a lot of characters, a lot of villains' death was appeared in this book. And I didn't understand why. What happened was this character called the Scourge, which you probably haven't heard of before, and you won't hear of since. He went into this bar where a lot of these B and C and D villains were, and just wiped out the whole bar and said, "Justice is served," and just knocked them all off. So I thought it was a pretty cool book. So when I saw it at my local comic shop back in late 80s, I picked it up. So I just wanted to have the book where a lot of characters died. So again, it's not important at all to anything, but to me. So, and this is another book that kind of appeals to my silly side. It's a what the back when What If was becoming popular for the second time. The second volume was coming out. They started What the, which is more of a parody magazine of the Marvel universe. So it's just the silliness and the other, just the lighter side of the comic world. So I mean, I have a few of those. This is the second, What the number 2, which is a homage to the Kraven's Last Hunt cover. So it's got Spider Pig and I don't know, Kraven with but emphasis on the Raven part. What is it called? Oh, Raven the Hunter. Excuse me. So that was it's the lighter side stuff, which is kind of appeals to me because I'm just a silly person. And this is one huge book for importance wise. This is Batman: The Killing Joke. Was the darker take on Batman's story. This is the story of the Joker. Very iconic cover with the Joker taking a picture. The artwork is phenomenal. This Alan Moore story, it just made Joker very dark and sinister, and he wasn't not to be taken lightly. He wasn't the Cesar Romero version from the TV show that everybody kind of laughed at, and it wasn't a silly character anymore. This is like a 5th print, so but this is a book where if you see it, pick it up. It's a great story. And moving on to 22, this is Kanan the Last Padawan. It's a Star Wars book, number 1. This is the first appearance of Ezra Bridger and other important characters, but Ezra is the one that was important to me because my son is named Ezra, so I figured picking up Ezra's first appearance in comics would be kind of a cool thing to have. He could care less, but I thought it was pretty cool. He's only 9, so maybe at some point he'll be interested in knowing he has the same name as a character from the Star Wars universe. But I thought it was pretty cool to have, so maybe one day, Ezra Wheeler will care as much about Ezra Bridger. And moving on to 21, this is Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine Weapon X. This is issue number 72. It's the first appearance of basically the Weapon X program. It's a kind of important book now. For the longest time, I don't think people really cared that much about it, but it's become pretty hot recently. So again, this is my section 21 through 30 of my books. And like I said, I budged it a little bit, snuck a couple extra books in there. But let's see, the shirt today, this is it's the Tick mashup with the Dark Knight. So this is the Dark Spoon Rises, I guess. Dark Spoon Returns. But thank you for watching my video. I appreciate it. Please take a second, and if you were interested in subscribing, please subscribe. Make some comments if you have anything to say about my selections. If you want to add any notes, I'm very open to feedback. I try to reply to comments and make sure that I'm very open-minded to seeing what people have to say. Oh, I think I forgot. Did I forget one? All right, let me throw this in there. If I did, you get a bonus. This is Batman Hulk. This is a mashup. It's a treasure. I think it's 27 for DC Marvel Comics Presents. They didn't have too many comics. When I saw this as a kid inside my comic shop, I think I was staring at it for a few weeks before I decided to go ahead and buy it. It was $8, so back then it was that's a lot of money. So I figured, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get that because very uncommon for a DC hero and a Marvel hero to be in the same comic book. There was very few crossovers. I think there was also a Spider-Man, Superman book, but this was it's a really cool book to have. As you see, it's a lot larger than a normal book. So it's not something they can grade at CGC or even put easily in a long box. But I think it's a really cool book to have, and I'm very happy about it. I don't know what it's worth now. It's probably $50, $100, but it's really cool to have, and I think it's It's kind of a unique item, so I don't see too many of these floating around. There's those two. I think there's a Muhammad Ali versus Superman book. That's pretty cool. But thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. And if you're interested in more content like I do have the other 2 videos I've done so far. I'll be doing a couple more, and I do have other unboxings and pre-screening before I send my books to CGC to review and get a better idea of what grades expectations. Thanks.